Hello everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 13 and compare it against the iPhone 13 mini and see which particular phone is a better one for you. Now, I will definitely tell you both these phones are very similar. There is a ton of overlap here between both these devices, and I would probably recommend saying that you can't really go wrong with either one of these. They both have a lot of capability, a lot of quality, and like I said, I'm a big fan of both these devices for sure. So, if you want to pick up either one of these things, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and you can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both these phones, both these devices are very good, and I think they look very nice for this day and age. The iPhone 13 mini has a little bit of a smaller 5.7-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display, and it's a pretty good looking panel still. It's a smaller phone. It's the last mini iPhone Apple's ever made. You have the notch up top, and it's a pretty good panel. It's basically the exact same thing as the iPhone 13, but just smaller. So it's 60 hertz, so no promotion on either one of these phones, which is still okay. But I still like this phone. I like the size of it. It's insane that this is actually this small of a phone because it's fits right perfectly in my hand. Same performance and same almost everything as the iPhone 13 besides battery life. So it's insane Apple was able to make this good of a phone in this small of a form factor. On the iPhone 13, on the other hand, this phone has a bigger 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. So it's a better looking panel. It's not even that much better looking, but it's a bigger panel. It's better, I would say, in some ways. And I definitely would say this is a very good looking display at that as well. You have the notch up top, which looks very nice. A little bit of bezel around it, nothing insane, but just a little bit. It's still a 60 hertz panel as well. And I still think this is a very good looking display as well. So I'll definitely say the 13 might be better for me because I like a bigger phone. But for those of you who like a smaller phone, the 13 mini is also there for you. Now, in terms of the rest of the body, you can kind of tell that both of them are, kind of almost exactly the same thinness and thickness. So this is another funny thing going on for both these phones. You would never think that both these devices would be the same thickness and thickness, but they are. But you can see that the iPhone 13 mini is a much smaller phone in terms of length. So just one of those things to keep in mind. On the top, not really anything insane going on. And at the bottom, you can see that the iPhone 13 mini and the iPhone 13 both have Lightning ports. That's now changed to USB-C on the latest iPhones. So you are kind of missing out on something there on these devices, but again, it's really not even that big of a deal. On the backside, you're basically getting dual camera setups on both, which look pretty good. So you're getting wide and ultra wide cameras on both these devices, which is very nice. You're getting wireless charging on both, MagSafe capability on both as well, and you are getting IP certification on both devices too. So I definitely do think on both of them, very good devices. I like both of them a lot, and I don't think you can go wrong in either one of these for sure. And I do think these are very good phones when it comes down to it. So from that perspective alone, I would definitely say I give a thumbs up for both these phones. And I definitely would say maybe the iPhone 13 mini or the iPhone 13 for me personally would be better. But I think the 13 mini is still a very good phone as well. So that kind of covers it up there. Now in terms of the software and longevity, the good thing here is that even though the 13 mini was a smaller phone and a cheaper phone than the iPhone 13 when it first came out, this is still going to be a phone that is essentially going to be basically the same amount of support as the iPhone 13. These phones are going to be lasting the exact same amount of time. So it's not like because this phone is smaller or cheaper, it's going to be, no. They're both going to be lasting the same exact amount of time, which is a very good thing. And that's exactly what you'd want in a device like this, which is genuinely very cool. So from that perspective, that kind of covers it up there as well. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these devices. The iPhone 13 mini has that Apple A15 body chip inside of it, with 4 gigabytes of RAM, and the iPhone 13 has an Apple A15 body chip inside of it with 4 gigabytes of RAM as well. So let's go and see which one's a faster phone between both. Okay, there we go. Basically, they're going to be around the same speed. Let's go phone calls, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing. Let's go into something like Apple Music, 3, 2, 1. Okay, there we go. Let's do settings, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 13 actually was a little bit slower there. Camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, hopping out of here, photos, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too, not that big of a difference. Let's go and get into mail, 3, 2, 1. 13 was faster. Clock, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Let's go and get into some of these third-party applications. Let's go and try files, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 13 mini was faster. Stocks, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 13 mini was the faster one. So I'm going to iTunes Store, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 13 mini had a little bit of a glitch up there too. Let's go into Freeform, which I don't even know where that is on both of them. GarageBand, let's see if I have this on here. No, I don't. We do have some of these other third-party apps though. Stack, 3, 2, 1. Okay, kind of about the same thing. Thank you, 3, 2, 1. About the same thing too. Snake versus blocks, 3, 2, 1. So that's kind of what I would expect, about the exact same speed on both these devices, which is fairly common on both. That's usually what's going to happen. Netflix, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. Okay, about the same thing. Let's do Dropbox, 3, 2, 1. Okay, 13 minute again, a little bit faster. Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can see it's probably going to be around the same thing too. So you can see that iPhone 13 mini was able to outcompete the iPhone 13 in this particular case. So this is kind of what I see over and over and over again. You're probably going to be getting that faster performing phone and overall better performing phone from something like the 13 mini than on something like the 13. Snapchat, 3, 2, 1. Actually, no, I take that back. It's going to be roughly around the same thing. I don't even know what I was talking about there. You're probably going to be getting the exact same performance on both these devices, which is probably what's going to end up happening more times than not. So I would tell you from the performance side, basically the same type of performing device. Of course, there's going to be some differences here and there, but for the most part, you're going to be getting basically the same type of performance on both these phones. So that kind of covers it up there. Now, in terms of the camera perspective, as I said before, almost the same type of camera on both. So you're going to be getting a dual camera setup on both these devices, so a wide and ultra wide camera, 4K 60 on the front and the back of both these phones, which is very, very nice. So that's something I like a lot on both these phones. Now, they're almost identically the same type of camera. So whatever you're going to do on one phone, you're probably going to do on the other. So with the iPhone 13 mini, like this camera is still going to be great. You're getting that 0.5x zoom and that 5x zoom here. The thing I really like a lot though about my iPhone 13 mini is the fact that it is actually, this is the crazy thing, the fact that it's basically giving you like a fairly solid experience on such a small like form factor. Like it's actually pretty insane. And that is something I actually like a lot about this particular phone, is that you are basically getting like a very good performing phone and a good camera from such a small form factor. So that's something I like a lot. Again, it's not like the most perfect phone of all time, but I think it's a good camera for the most part. The 13, I think, is also fairly good. Like this is a fairly good performing phone as well. The thing with the 13 is that this is also like the same exact camera as the 13 mini. So there really isn't like a lot to kind of compare here. You're basically going to be getting like almost the exact same type of performing phone here. So same 0.5x zoom on the outside, 5x zoom on the inside. So nice stuff. It's a very cool cinematic one on both as well. And that kind of covers it up. So if you couldn't tell, there really isn't like these massive differences here. You're basically going to be getting essentially the exact same phone from both these devices. The only differences here for the most part is that the iPhone 13 is basically a bigger phone and the 13 mini is a smaller phone. Do you like a bigger phone or do you like a smaller phone? If you like the smaller phone, then go for the 13 mini. If you like the bigger one, the 13 might make a little bit more sense for me to recommend to people. Like I said, I don't think you can go wrong with either one in this day and age. But the fact that both these phones are like, 3 years old this year, it kind of comes down to you. But I think the 13 might be the one I'd recommend a majority of people to buy. But I think the 13 mini is also a very, very solid option as well. So in terms of that kind of covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.